COVID-19 in Yogyakarta. The second presenter, Ibu Lintar Brilian Pintakami from Universitas Brawijaya. The third, Ibu Riswani from UIN Sultan Syarif Qasim. The fourth, Ibu Hesti Asriwandari dari Universitas Riau. And the fifth presenters, Ibu Purwati Asih from Unika Sukiya Pranata. I think Ibu Purwanti now join now, yeah, maybe later after this. Okay, because we have a limited time, I remind all presenters here, only have a 10 minutes for material presentation and 5 minutes for question and answers. Please use your time efficient and effectively. And I hope with the limitation like that, you can perform as best as you can, because we will choose a best presenter from this session. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We will start with the first presenter here, Ibu Siti Sumaryati Ningsih. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Anissa Rida. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. I would like to present our research in our campus. So it's a different with purpose. We summit in this conference. The title is Beyond Economic Survival: Women with Disabilities Coping Strategies During COVID-19 Pandemic in Yogyakarta. Okay, next. Okay, the COVID-19 pandemic situation was worse social and economically discrimination and violence for women with disabilities. Women with disabilities very vulnerable for this condition, and they need survival strategies and coping to survive. Next. Okay, there was any variety of women with disabilities. It's mental disabilities, blind, mute, and physically, mental, and intellectual. So, okay, next. Next slide, please. Okay. This research scope of our study is women with disability that assisted by Sentra Advokasi Perempuan Difabel and Anak, or Sabda Yogyakarta. There was three coping and survival strategies with ethic subsystem theory of James Scott. Gender inequality, disability, and social inclusion, or JEDC analysis. We use it. Next. Okay, and result investigation for this research is all of informants state that their income decreased during the pandemic. Even blind measure have no income. 7.6%. That's it for this for their income. Women with disabilities carry out. Women with disabilities carry out survival strategies during a pandemic, like performance in James Scott theory of subsistence ethic. Women with disabilities carry out three strategies, namely reducing expenditure, using alternative subsistence, and expanding network to get some aid. Women with disabilities who lost their job affected and charged for relationship and their family, and lost bargaining position in the family decision making. Okay, next. First, reducing the expenditure. Expenditure of has priorities for food needs, and expenditure that being reduced for traveling, recreation, going to the mall, snack for children, and meat. There's also special food for people with disabilities, snack for children with disability, physiotherapy for cerebral palsy, medicine and vitamins for mental disability. Soy milk and women's need, like a reproduction need, have been reduced or even eliminated. Many people with disabilities have multiple disabilities, and each type of disability has special needs. Fact so that this need is sacrificed for family resilience. So this has the potential to increase their disability. They need health special need for survive. However, there is more expenses such as electricity needs, food, and internet credit, of course. Next. Second, using alternative subsistence. Using alternative subsistence by looking for another job or looking for source of livelihood such as gardening, fishery, raising livestock. The result of a garden, fishery, and livestock can become some by themselves and can be sold to get as many. For the tailor, they are saving marks, mask connector for hijab, personal protective equipment, and personal order. But it's not good contribute to their survival strategy. Looking for a job? Yes, also. Some of them turn to the small food business, but some of them are having difficulty in online marketing. In other hand, their difficulty is dealing with normality remains an obstacle, like cooking and processing the food with the left hand. Our society cannot receive it. Okay, next. So expanding the network for some aid. Some informant get some help from their family, but most of them are not. Most of it is form of basic food for such as rice, oil, eggs, etc. The usual assistance provided is basic food item, but for the blind who have lost their job, they can't be electricity and gas, so it's more difficulty for them. In any addition, health equipment such as masks, hand washing soap, and hand sanitizer. The relief comes from the government, community organization, religious organization, NGOs, both locally, nationally, and internationally. The help of network can be used to survive. The digital world make the association of women with disability also more widespread. But in this case, it actually causes digital-based sexual violence. Okay, next. So the assistance of women with disability must be ensured that they understand all of information. The case for hand washing soap with a sweet aroma, a place with pictures of fruits, colorful, and because of repacking, forgot to write down that it was a soap. So one incident of soap assistant was almost drunk by women with disabilities. So we must to ensure that they get information. Ensure that all of the information about some aid according to the disability need is very important when providing any assistance to women with disabilities, such as for blind, deaf, mute, mental, intellectual, multiple, etc. And solidarity among women with disability became a survival strategy. Next, okay. So, finding how the new normal during COVID-19 pandemic affected to women with disability. Okay, next. Wearing the mask, it's maybe useful for us, but for deaf and mute, it's very difficult because they communicate with reading lips. So using the mask is make them more disabilities again. So a group of women with disability group make transparent masks to survive. They can access any information about COVID-19 for their health. They get good communication with other with transparent masks. Okay, and they more safe and reduce the COVID-19 infected risk with the mask too. Transparent is one way to survival strategy of the deaf and mute during pandemic. Okay. Okay, about washing hand. How about washing hand? How about woman with no hand? What's up? Accessibility of person with disability with wheelchair to hand washing facilities, it's more make them vulnerable too. sometimes hand washing facilities it's places in incorrectly placed and at inappropriate height. Hand wash basin with rotary facet make it difficult for women with disabilities who do not have all palms. The recommended facet is lever for this case. Hand washing place that use feet for facet and soap are also difficult for wheelchair users. So they need washing hand facilities which is accessible for them. Okay. Avoiding the crowd. The problem with the section for development of social media, many women with disabilities use social media too for communicating for the others. One of the impact of the use of social media is the increasing in case of digital-based sexual violence. Okay, mobility reduction. Staying at home is only thing that keep them safe, even while self-isolating, isolasi mandiri, when exposed to COVID-19, because not all shelters are friendly to women with disabilities, both in terms of facilities and services. Restrict mobility means reducing spending on travel. For women with disabilities with wheelchair, it really helps reduce expenses because they have to pay more for transportation costs. They have to use a car taxi. The working hours of women with disabilities increased during the pandemic. Working hours for domestic workers working increase while work to earn money doesn't decrease or even increase. Work from home, school from home, and homework too. All of this make women with disability even more vulnerable during the pandemic. Both are vulnerable socially, economically, and healthily, and can threaten their survival. Conclusion: women with disabilities carry out survival strategies during a pandemic like poor performance in James Scott theory of subsistence ethics. Women with disabilities carry out 3 strategies, namely reducing spending, using alternative subsistence, and expanding network to get assistance. However, the way of survival in ethical subsistence theory sacrifices the special need of people with disabilities, with a special need of women with disabilities. This condition causes them to be more disabled and vulnerable. They beyond economically strategy for survive, but they need social and health as survival strategy too. Next. Okay, this like a model that's we see to how women with disabilities survive with this strategy. There is economical strategy, social strategy, and health strategy for survival. Okay. It's a recommendation, developing policy about handling objection in disability problem and pandemic based on each of disability needs. So social health and economical protection for women with disabilities. There needs to be further research on government policies and their implementation in supporting women with disabilities during the pandemic. Research about village and COVID-19 pandemic too. Okay, let's. In order to achieve gender equality as well as disability inclusion, the development process needs gender, disability, and diversity responsive planning and programming. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mbak Nining. Only have 2 minutes for question and answer. And this is a question from Ibu Umi. What for farmers? What? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you answer it?
Okay. In James Scott theory, there is research for theory for farmers in crisis, and our research is for women with disabilities. That's it. It's different, but we have a same condition with crisis. We have same strategy for economically, but for disability, we need more strategy. We need a social strategy and we need a health strategy. I think I lost one presentation about social distancing. social distancing for people, women with disability, with mental, intellectual, it's very not good, because it's more they need more assistance for this condition. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Nini. I think the time is over now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for your very interesting presentation. Actually, we need a long discussion to talk about this. Yeah.
Actually, I want to ask one question. Is it?
No, I think it's enough because already 15 minutes strictly we cannot edit. Okay, we will move to the second here. Ibu Lintar Brilian Pintakami from Universitas Brawijaya.
Yes, I am.
Her with the title Women's Land Ownership, Role in Achieving Economic Recovery During the COVID-19 Pandemic. Mbak Lintar?
Yes, yes, I am. Thank you so much before for Ibu Anis Farida for this opportunity. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Moderator, Ms. Dr. Anis Farida, the Honorable Organizing Committee, Ms. Yulita PhD, and the happy presenter from Faris Institution. Introducing, my name is Lintar Brilian Pintakami as a student in Agriculture Faculty of Brawijaya University Malang. Let me take this opportunity today. I will present and share a small part of my dissertation research entitled Women Land Ownership, Role in Achieving Economic Welfare During the COVID-19 Pandemic. Next slide, please. This is my outline presentation today. Start from introduction, then methods, result and discussion, and the last is conclusion. Next, please. Introduction. The basic reason this research was conducted because of the COVID-19 pandemic that is currently hitting Indonesia. So that it has an impact on the potential for an economic crisis. However, in 2020, despite the economic downturn in various business, the agricultural sector was the safest sector. So that in the current situation, land is the most important natural resource, which is one of the factors of production in agriculture. So that's why the legalization of land ownership by farmers is crucial. However, social problems arise when the owner of agricultural land is a woman. There is an assumption that the role of women farmers as landowners is non-comparable to men in land management, which implies bias. Whereas a woman farmer who own land are an important source of agricultural information, which is often underestimated. Because of this problem, this research is very important to examine the role of potential contribution of women farmers who own land in achieving successful management of farm land. Attention to women farmers is expected to improve the household economy, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next, please. Method. The research type were a qualitative approach, location determination with purposive in Jarangan Village, Pasuruan Regency, Province of East Java, because the target area of the largest and sustainable land redistribution program. For get data, researchers did some data collection among others, in-depth interview, participatory observation, checklist, and documentation. Population in this research are farmers who own land participating in the land redistribution program in 2020. Determination of informant by snowball sampling. Data analysis technique are: first, gender analysis using the Harvard model. Second, qualitative analysis, in vivo program. And then the last, using farming analysis and contribution. Next, please. Result and discussion. The first, the role of women farmers, landowners. in the land distribution program during the COVID-19 pandemic. In productive activities table, there are 5 activities. 3 activities are carried by men farmers, 1 activity is carried by women farmers, and 1 activity is carried together. In Table B, we can see that in Jarangan village, reproductive activities are the main responsibility of women. This happened because of the culture that has been embedded in the village of Jarangan, that all matters of the house and children are the work of the wives. Next, please. In Table C, women have the same involvement in community activities, informal activities. Men and women devote the same amount of time with a percentage of 50%. Distinguishing access and control profiles on resources. Access and control of women farmers who own land on the activities of government organization is very limited, especially information on the land redistribution program. E, benefit profile distinction. Benefit in the form of experience can only be optioned by men due to the limited access and control of women farmers who own land in the activities of village government organization. As a result, women who own land are only limited to the legality of the name in the certificate. However, in optioning the benefit of a skill, women have many skills in processing the result of corn cultivation. Next, please. So this about the involvement of women farmers, landowners in corn land management land redistribution program. Figure 1 show that the word corn has the highest frequency of words from the transcript on the interview. They show that men farmers are mostly involved in productive activities in the form of corn cultivation in land management of the land redistribution program. In figure 2 show that women landowners are dominant in social activities such as Poklasar Mina Asri, which is engaged in processing fish corn product. Among other things, training and processing of corn product such as fish or shrimp crackers. Next, please. The income contribution of women farmers, landowners to household economic welfare from the land redistribution program. In income contribution result of research is men farmers make a largest around 62% contribution to household income. Meanwhile, women farmers contributed to household welfare in the amount 38%. Nevertheless, women farmers are able to allocate more of their time to continue to carry out their reproductive roles and social roles to provide skill to their fellow women in the management of fish corn product. Next, please. Conclusion. The conclusion of this study are, first, the division of work between men and women in the land of the land redistribution program is still based on the severity of the work. Second, the division of gender analysis activities show that 71% of reproductive activities are carried by women. Third, women landowners are dominant in social activities such as the Poklasar community we call Mina Asri community. Fourth, land ownership certification is the most important thing for the sustainable of the community economy during the current COVID-19 pandemic. And the last, men farmers contributed 62% and women farmers contributed 38% to the household economy. Next, please. These are described women farmers activities in my research place. We can see together in first picture about management of fish into Renjinang crackers, activities of women land owners during the COVID-19 pandemic. And then the second picture about REDIS certificate can be used collateral for business loan for women landowners. And the next picture about involvement of women or wife in fish marketing activities. And the last picture about the location of the redistribution program land use as a pawn business by farmers. Well, that was my presentation about my research. I will return back this forum to the honorable moderator. Thank you very much. Welcome to any suggestion from presenters. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mbak Lintar. The interesting presentation, and strictly you can manage your time very good. Okay,
Thank you so much, Ma'am.
Yeah, one question from Ibu Omi Oktari Retmanusi. In the non-formal activities, women do circumcising children. Is it true?
Yes.
What are the of economic welfare?
Okay, for the non-formal activities, women do circumcising children. Yes, this is true because mostly all the women, especially because my object of my research is women land ownership, they take all together. They take all for that is for care of children, especially for during pandemic. For example, do homework is really challenging for women farmers. So that's why my result of this research, informal activities, I get percentage around 71%. All the informal activities to do by women. And then about indicator of economic welfare. So I use indicator about income from online cultivation to use indicator by economic welfare in household. Yes, that's for my answer for first question.
Yeah, for the second question, you can read the chat room from Ibu Ramita Budiarto.
Yes, thank you so much for Ibu Rahmita. Yes, I agree with you, Ma'am. That is same condition in women land ownership, but the different thing is for decision making. For decision making in informal, okay, we can say yes, women carrying together for all the activities. But for formal, for example, when the local government do meeting about this program, from the start planning, organizing, actualing until evaluation, they still don't invite women to involve for this redistribution program. So that's why in my research, result of my research, the woman just legalization by on the certificate, not by formal when they come to a meeting to give opportunity to making decision together with men landowners. Yes, that is my answer for second question.
Any question from participants here?
I'm so sorry if my English is still bad, but I'm really happy when all the presenter give me any suggestion or advice, because this is a part of my dissertation, Mom. So that's why I really need advice from all of the presenters. Thank you.
Boleh tanya? Masih boleh tanya?
Ya.
Itu istilah circumcising children itu apa sih? Kalau saya sunat ya anunya, menerjemahkannya itu yang di situ apa maksudnya? Itu di salah satu presentasinya tadi. I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
This one.
Let me to see my.
Ya.
For non.
Apa itu? Itu saya circumcising.
Oh, please. Yes, 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 Mom. I understand. So, okay, for my presentation in tabel social activities, non-formal, this is about helping together, or we call, in East Java, we call rewang. It
Apa?
means helping together. For example, with circumcision of the kids, the woman will helping together their neighbor. For example, for service of the quest when even.
Okay, because
Yes,
I interpreted differently. Okay.
yes, I'm so sorry. In East Java we call rewang, or
Okay.
almost same with gotong royong, but for men, but for rewang especially for women.
Because you said in circumcising children. Itu kan
Oh yeah, sorry.
Ya, masa? Okay. Because I interpreted with sunat.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Mom, for correcting.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's time is over. Yeah, we move to another presenter here. Thank you, Mbak Lintar. Yeah.
You're welcome, Mom.
Yes. The third presenter here, Ibu Riswani from UIN Sultan Syarif Kasim. Ibu Riswani will present her papers with the title Thought, Attitude, and Action, the Struggle of a Single Mother in Raising the Children During the COVID-19 Pandemic in Indonesia. Okay, Bu Riswani, thanks yours.
Okay, thank you for moderator. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy because this afternoon I can present our paper. Actually, it's our paper.
Maybe your voice audio. Could you?
Okay. Thank you, moderator. Okay. How about my voice? Is it okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Bu Anis, as a moderator, because give me the chance to present our paper, Thought, Attitude, and Action, the struggle of a single parent's mother in raising the children in amidst COVID-19 pandemic. Let's say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I introduce myself. My name is Riswani, and we have a team. My team, Mahdar Ernita, Darnilawati, Helen Lasfitriani, Nur Hayati Sudirman. We are from different department, but in one of the Center for Women and Child Study, Institute for Research and Community Service, Universitas Islam Negeri Sultan Syarif Kasim Riau. Okay, let's. I read the introduction. Next slide, please. Hello. Okay. Now, the introduction. The COVID-19 pandemic that spreads globally makes parents in various parts of the world experience a variety of new stressors that threaten their health, security, and economic well-being. The survey conducted in America showed that COVID-19 has increased child care responsibilities and other domestic responsibilities among parents, both mothers and fathers. The survey also showed that mother has a greater responsibility than father because mother also has accompanied children to study online at home. And in Indonesia, according to the statistic that from the total of parents, 24% single parents are mothers and 4% of single 4% of single parents are from fathers. It means the number of single mother as a single parent is bigger than father. Next. Hello? 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 Next slide. Okay. On the other hand, In a normal situation, the responsibility of father as a single parent in terms of raising children and other household matters is not as heavy as the mother as a single parent, because the father devotes more time to work and ask for help from family members and other adults to take care of the family household. Those mother, a single parent, has limited support compared to a father as a single parent, or compared to mother who is impaired in facing the difficulties posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. This is the reason why that we conduct this research, because according to us that the responsibilities of single mother more greater than single father. Next. Next. Okay. Studies on women as a parent in amidst of COVID-19 are relatively widely conducted. Yeah, we can see Charlie, Crow, Feng, Savani, Limbers, and so on. However, studies in involving female participants as a single parent's mother is still limited in number. More specifically, a research that disseminates the experiences and challenges by a single parent mother raising their children in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, this study narrates how women as a single parent mother think and acts in raising children in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. On the other hand, a participant must work for the economic needs of the family, cares home, and she has to accompany the children to study online at home. This should be done by the participant alone because she does not have a husband or family who will help him. Next. Now, statement of the problems. Two questions arise in the study. The first, what are the challenges faced by a single mother in raising children in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic? The second, how are single parents mothers thought, attitude and action in raising her children in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic? I'm so sorry because there are mistakes in our PPT. Next. Okay, let me present the research of methodology. The first is research design. This research, this research aims to examine the experiences and challenges faced by a single mother through a narrative approach. Research activities were conducted in early June to August 2021. The social culture context and the dimension of space and time that influence the complex and dynamic discourse of participant experiences are the emphasis of the narrative approach of Christ and Zoe Feinberg. Now, we use this narrative of Christ. And then the second one, participant. The participant is a woman who is a single mother, divorced by her husband since 2016, domiciled in the categories as red zone by the government. It means Riau province government. She is 38 years old and has 4 children. There are two main reasons for the selection of the participant. Firstly, she is a researcher friend. So it is easy for researcher to deeply deeply the information because she is close friends. The secondly, her willingness to share her experiences, because not all the participants would like to share her experience during the pandemic COVID-19. Next. Next. Okay. Data collection. Data collection technique is a semi-structured interview. The guarantee of confidentiality, anonymity, and emotional comfort are offered to participants. The goal is that participants can construct their experience well. Another guarantee is the safety during the COVID-19 pandemic by offering the using of Zoom media, WhatsApp text, and WhatsApp videos for the interview process. Yeah, according to Harvey, 2015, the participant emotional expression can be seen through the use of information technology in the interview process. Researcher probe internet quota and handphone for the participant. The interview is conducted 3 times. Next, the data analysis. Narrative is an approach method that can be used to find a story that is dynamic and contains values. The discourse of the participants' stories is not separate from aspect of context, space, and time. In the context of this study, the narrative related to the context of this study, in the context of this study, the narrative related to the struggle in the context of rising children in the COVID-19 pandemic was analyzed thematically using thematic text analysis of Widodo. And then the data grouped into several teams based on the thematic content analysis procedure, Brown and Clark. After that, the data is interpreted in this group analysis. Okay, next. Next. Finding and discussion. There are 4 themes related to the challenges faced by the participants in raising children in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. They are finance, time management, facilities and assistance for children online learning, and children misbehavior. Okay, let me tell one by one. Next. Hello, next. Okay. Oh, balik ke atas. Okay, finance. Nah, participant experience financial difficulties because her merchandise is quiet from customers. To solve this problem, she worked as a part-time housemaid at her neighbor house. Yeah, this the action that done by the participant, and her attitude to this one. She always said that maybe in bahasa Indonesia said that Allah mencobai dia, something like that. And then the action to more specifically, he done like ironing and also clean the house, something like that, just to kind of work, ironing and clean the house. And then sometime she finished at night, maybe at 10 o'clock and 11, sometimes something like that. The second one, time management. She find it difficult to divide her time. Sell merchandise in the morning, yeah, because now, during the pandemic, she has she has the first sell merchandise in the morning, and then in the afternoon working as a housemaid in the up to 11 or sometimes 10 o'clock, and then after that she has to assist her children online learning because her children, because she has 4 children still in elementary school. Okay, next. And for the third, there are 2 main problems faced by the participant regarding learning policies. Yeah. The first, the provision of online learning facilities. The second, the way how to help her children online learning because of her limitation in using IT. Regarding the limitation of providing the facilities, she asked her children use the handphone in learning in turn. Yeah, I informed that she has 4 children and then 1 handphone. So to solve the problem, she asked the children to turn the handphone according to the lesson that went online learning. Due to the lack of knowledge in online learning, she was forced by her children to go to her neighbor house to get help with the children's school assignment. She felt unhappy and to do that because according to her that she doesn't want to make the neighbors difficulty, because she always asked to do the assignment of her children. The third one, child's misbehavior. Since her children do the learning process from home, no longer do activities such as learning face-to-face in school. They become experience stress and tend to exhibit negative emotion and behavior. Her oldest son is usually polite and spend more time at home. Since the pandemic, he likes to be angry and always go out from the home and back at midnight. Now, she do nothing for this because she doesn't know how to solve the problem. According to her, that my time I spend all of my time to think about the academic. Next slide. Conclusion. The purpose of the study is to narrate the thought, attitude, and action of the mother with 4 children who has divorced by her husband, facing the obstacles of caring for the children during COVID-19. The thought, attitude, and action of the single mother are drawn from strategy and adapting in the public and domestic sphere. Doing 2 different heavy jobs in one day is done to meet the need of life and school cost of the children. In the domestic area, single mother acting as a teacher when accompanying her children.
Excuse me, Ibu Reswani.
Okay, give me one moment.
Interrupted.
Is confused because does not know how to get children online. Okay, I think that is all my presentation, and then I'm so sorry because I spend more time for that. Thank you very much, Bu Anis.
You're welcome, but unfortunately, so you cannot respond our question on the chat room because you have no time.
Sorry.
Please, Ibu Hesti, next presenter, on your time. 10 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for question and answer. Bu Hesti, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Bu Anis, Farida. May I have my slide, please? Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for the time given to me for present my this paper. Let me introduce myself. I'm Hesti Asriwandari from Universitas Riau, and these are our team for this research. Okay, this research titled "Women and the Future of Mangrove: The Activity and Social Position of Women in the Mangrove Community in Riau." Next, please, Mas. Mangrove forests are a source of people's livelihood. The mangrove ecosystem is one of Indonesia's wealth of natural resources that provides many benefits in life. Mangrove forests are the local community's source of livelihood. Their rich marine products such as shrimp, crabs, and various types of fish are used the local community's food and income source. Mangrove forests also provide various kinds of wood, such as charcoal wood and wood for building and paper materials, of which have high economic value. As seen in this picture is charcoal panglong arang. Utilization of mangrove wood is carried out both traditionally in the form of home industry using panglong arang as well as through modern industry in the form of wood production for building material and household furniture. Riau province has several preserved mangrove areas. The mangrove ecosystem in the area bordering the Malacca Straits is under pressure and threat from overexploitation and land conversion to fulfill economic interest. Massive logging of mangroves for building materials has damaged the mangrove forest ecosystem. Women are an important part in society development, and they have the opportunity to earn income to meet their family's needs. Ecofeminism experts say that until now, the environment and natural resource management has not been seen from women's point of view. The patriarchal culture and development model has eliminated women's power to manage their natural resources as well as secure food for their families and communities. Next, the study aims to explain women's involvement in mangrove community activities as well as their social position within the community. Their involvement in community activities will be able to explain their social position. This study uses a descriptive qualitative approach. The main informants in this study were women who were directly involved in mangrove community activities, while villagers who were not directly involved are supporting informants. Next. The Meranti Islands residents, especially those living in Rangsang Islands coastal area, are dependent on their fishery products. The distribution of mangrove forests along the coast of Rangsang Island and other islands in Meranti Archipelago provides an excellent habitat for the wealth of fish species in this area. There are at least 47 species of fish that have been recognized as community catches, which are traded locally and become the local community's income source. Meranti Islands Regency is a strategic area that is prone of experiencing environmental pollution and destruction caused by various activities, so control efforts are needed, namely prevention, management, and recovery. Empirically, sustainable development is not achieved because there is no balance between ecological benefit and socio-economic benefits. Next. The local government socialization in collaboration with various relevant agencies has raised environmental awareness of the coastal area community to maintain and preserve mangrove forests. The conservation and rehabilitation of beach and mangrove forests were realized by establishing TEGAS, a community monitoring group called POKMASWAS, is kelompok masyarakat pengawas, which will be referred to as the Coastal Area Conservation Group, chaired by Kadar. The mangrove community in Rangsang Barat District, Meranti Islands, is an independent mangrove community that is growing without the help of private sector, nor is it target of company's social responsibility program or CSR. The TEGAS group has a strong commitment and to date has become an example and motivator for other similar groups in the Meranti Islands Regency. Next. Women's involvement Women's involvement began when Farida and her husband Kadar tried to buy mangrove seedlings by selling rambutan. The sufficient supply of materials in Anakstata village then encouraged the development of mangrove syrup industry in 2012. This home industry involved 18 housewives who processed pedada fruit from mangrove trees into syrup and dodol products. The decline in tourism industry, both mangrove and other tourism due to the COVID-19 pandemic, has had a negative impact on the mangrove syrup industry. Since 2020, sales have declined sharply, and mangrove syrup industry became a family industry only involving 2 to 3 women from the village, including Farida, Kardar's wife. Its production is limited, aiming only to fulfill orders. Within organizational structure, Farida occupies the position of secretary. Next. Currently, the main activity of the Coastal Area Conservation Group is to rehabilitate mangrove forests and create the sustainable coastal environment. Mangrove seeding and planting involve about 15 women who go directly to the beach to plant mangrove seeds. Under Kadar's leadership, these women were given the roles of head of the planning team, head of the implementation team, head of the supervisory team, all of which were related to mangrove seeding activities. Okay, next. Mangrove seeding are carried out at home before being transported to the beach or mangrove areas that must be rehabilitated using a cart pulled by a motorbike, as in the picture. After arriving in the coastal area, they planted mangrove seedlings. This activity has no set working hours. The process of planting mangrove seedlings takes 2 or 3 hours in a day and can be done in the morning or evening as long as it does not interfere with daily activities. Okay, the village women who are involved in this mangrove forest rehabilitation activity are all married, aged between 29 and 50 years old, and have completed elementary school education or sekolah dasar. Every woman has a specialization in the activities that she does. The following table is the specialties activity the woman member of the guest group. You can see every woman in activity. Okay, next. The group leader said that the female members did have mangrove knowledge and the ability to seed. Therefore, they are involved in the seeding activities and campaign for coastal environment cleanliness. However, the interview result with group members indicated their involvement in group activities is to help their husband because the rehabilitation of coastal area will maintain the habitat of fish and marine animals that are the source of life for fishermen. The livelihoods of the villagers are traditional fishermen and rubber farmers. Conclusion, coastal communities in mangrove forest area are traditional fishing communities whose livelihoods are highly dependent on marine and coastal ecosystems. The destruction of the mangrove ecosystem for economic purpose has threatened the livelihoods of fishermen and requires the collective movement to control it. The role of women in mangrove communities has great potential to control the balance of ecology benefit and social economic benefit of mangrove forest. However, their activities in mangrove community are not independent. Their involvement is passive, as it remains under the management of coastal conservation leader. Empowerment is needed from local government, universities, and private sector so that women have the knowledge and individual qualities to achieve an independent social position, as well as having the role as subject in controlling the mangrove environment. Okay, that's all my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Bu Hesti. You have 4 minutes to answer the question in the chat room. Please answer it. 2 questions. Yes. The first from Ibu Umi, ya. Ibu Riswani and Ibu Umi.
Ibu Riswani and in Tanglong Arang, my question: do women? Yes, women work in Panglong Arang. Yeah, and women earn so least pay in that Panglong. Jadi maaf in bahasa supaya lebih lancar. Bahkan di Panglong Arang pun perempuan itu paling bawah, ya, the least payment from Panglong Arang, because the job, the work they work so simple work, ya, just ada riset khusus tentang pangrok arang, saya juga ada tulis ini. Oke, the next Bu Umi for welfare program maybe because is that Bu Umi? Oh no. It's really interesting that women in Meranti play many significant roles for sustainable and economic development. My question is, lawful to cut mangrove trees now? What do you mean? Lawful?
To cut mangrove trees.
Is that okay? Is that okay? Because I heard if people on like cut the tree, it can be sentenced to jail like for 3 months.
To cut mangrove trees now? Oh, oke. Okay. Maksudnya begini ya mungkin. Pemanfaatan ya, utilities the mangroves is harus di bawah satu hukum ya, ada
bukan,
hukum.
Gini, Besti, kan saya dengar katanya loh ya, sekarang orang karena ada replanting ya, ada replanting.
Iya, oke.
Jadi kalau orang tuh mengkatri nebang mangrove
ya,
hukum 3 bulan gitu loh.
Oh, oke.
Itu kan di situ. Kalau untuk sirup that's fine because it come from like its fruits, not from the panglo untuk arang.
Iya, oke.
Apakah itu masih diperbolehkan?
Jadi sekarang sejak kebakaran hutan juga ya, ada deforestasi besar-besaran di Riau. Banyak peraturan-peraturan yang mengatur. Kemudian ada program rehabilitasi dan program konservasi. Jadi konservasi dan rehabilitasi. Konservasi bagi yang masih ada, ya masih ada mangrove-nya. Kemudian wisata mangrove sudah mulai digalakkan dan rehabilitasi bagi mangrove yang rusak. Nah, saya belum meneliti lebih jauh tentang hukum itu ya dengan dari undang-undangnya. Tapi sekarang rehabilitasi mangrove memang digalakkan di seluruh Indonesia ya, bahkan walaupun Riau itu sebagian besar lahan mangrove-nya, tapi industri wisata atau pembudidayaan mangrove itu justru bukan di Riau. Riau masih belum sampai belum terlalu ini ya, kebanyakan dibantu oleh sebetulnya saya lihat lagi itu di Bengkalis, itu dibantu oleh Pertamina dan Caltex ya, yang waktu itu belum itu dibantu oleh CSR. Jadi banyak sekali yang dibantu oleh perusahaan setempat, tapi juga ada yang sangat mandiri seperti yang di Meranti ini memang sangat mandiri dan itu sangat tergantung pada gerakan moral dari masyarakat ya. Jadi benar-benar mereka menyadari bahwa jika mangrove itu rusak, mata pencaharian mereka hilang.
Okay.
Yang saya tertarik bagi saya adalah keterlibatan perempuan di sini itu bukan satu keterlibatan yang aktif gitu ya. Jadi mereka tetap membantu suami, tetap.
Sorry, Ibu Hesti. Okay. Maybe we can continue in another room.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's very interesting presentation, and I think women are very potential to improve everything. Okay, next presenters and the last, Ibu Purwanti from Unika Sugia Pranata.
Thank you.
Okay, Ibu, you will present your paper with the title "The Venture for Clean Batik Production in Klaten Cluster from the Perspective of Ecofeminism." Okay, Ibu, time is yours.
Good afternoon. I'm introduce myself. My name Purwanti Asiana Levi. I am a student from Program Magister Lingkungan dan Perkotaan Unika Sugia Pranata Semarang. Next. Historically, batik was originally produced using natural materials from various plants, and the production process highly involved women. The industrialization of batik implicated the choice of replacing natural materials with synthetic materials. The use of synthetic dyes has slowly substituted the role of natural dyes in batik production. mass and rapid production of batik using synthetic color and printing techniques engenders environmental problems such as waste production, air pollution, water pollution, unhealthy and hazardous work environment, and threat to the sustainability of hand-drawn batik. Green production is one solution to this problem. Next. This paper discusses the practice of batik with natural coloring based on the theory of green production with an ecofeminism perspective. The research method used in this paper is combination of case study research conducted on Putri Kawung Batik community in Klaten. Next. Theoretical framework. UNEP defined clean production as preventive and integrated environmental management strategy that needs to be applied continuously in production process and product life cycle to reduce hazardous risk to human and environment. Next, clean production strategies use 1E and 9R. Elimination, rating, reduce, reuse, recycle, recovery or reclaim, replace, repair, replan, and revitalization of values. Next, clean production benefits, saving potential, less energy, less material, less water, less waste, and benefit for industries are better housekeeping, better environment, better catering, saving and profit. Next, ecofeminism. Clean production is one solution to this problem. The principle of clean production specially contributes to the implementation of production process that considers sustainability, which is the essence of environmental justice. However, this theory does not discuss the subject of production process. In this case, batik workers who practice their knowledge and skill are contributing to the gender construction of society. Therefore, integrating gender issues and construction in the conceptual or theoretical framework becomes crucial, in which we integrate ecofeminist theory. This paper discusses the practice of natural color batik production by implementing clean production theory with ecofeminist theory. In this study, ecofeminist theory is used to analyze the relationship between human and the crisis of relation between human and nature in batik production of batik industry based on putting out system. Based on the analysis, we can obtain an overview of the experiences of female batik workers, and consequently, we can also highlight their experience as learning resources in managing and conserving nature. The research will also provide more equitable and equal space and access for women in collaboration with men in the management and conservation of nature. Result and discussion. In the study, researchers described the daily practice in the production of natural dye batik by the Putri Kawung Batik community. The Putri Kawung Batik community is a group of 20 batik artisans produce natural dyed batik in the batik cluster of Klaten. Most of the members of the group is female artisans. The researcher studied 3 parts of natural dyed batik production process, namely material input practices, production process practices, output management practices. Next. This is the outline of analysis that will be explained one by one. Next. Material input. Using cotton fabric because it is easy to draw onto, easy paste with wax, easily absorb the natural coloring, and upon worn it feels cool in the skin. Using high quality wax, easily and firmly paste on fabric and can be recycled and reused repeatedly. using natural coloring materials. Next. Production process of natural dyed batik. There is several steps. They are preparation, design, batik wax, dyeing, wax releasing, and finishing. Next. Production process. The process for cutting and sewing fabric is specially done by professionals to avoid making wrong cut. Furthermore, the fabric scrap can also be used to make craft items such as tire mat, wallet, and bags. The work of copying or tracing the image or ngeblat from the signed paper to fabric is done by using homemade carbon called langas carbon or substitute paper. This langas carbon can be made into various sizes depending on the needs, more durable, and can be recycled. The remaining wax material scattered during hand making or applying wax on the pattern fabric or menyanting process are collected and recycled to be reused. The process of color extraction, coloring, removing unused wax from cloth, cloth washing, quality control, and finishing are carried out in the workshop. Output management. Putri Kawung Batik community manage the finished product in the showroom. Batik fabric product are stored with certified preservative. Other non-product output as the result of batik production include fabric scrap, wax, water, and gas. Fabric scrap are used to make prayer mat, wallet, and bags. Wax was is reused to second and third batik production. Unprocessed waste water is directly disposed of into septic tank and sewer. The impact of gas waste is minimized by making outdoor workshop without walls so that the emitted smoke from the combustion can be blown away directly by the wind. Next. Discussion. Batik makers of Putri Kawung Batik community have implemented the principle of clean production. They use natural raw materials, including cutting fabric as needed, and the fabric scrap are used to make new goods of economic value. They also collect and recycle wax materials residue to be reused. The conclusion, based on the explanation of product and waste management, Putri Kawung Batik community has implemented the principle of clean production in the management of batik product by giving preservative from natural ingredients, which keep moth away while aromatizing to finished batik product. In the management of gas waste, they also have attempted to minimize the effect by working in open space without wall. However, they have not managed the liquid waste properly, as they only dispose of it into septic tank. In this study, ecofeminism theory is used to analyze the correlation between humans and the crisis of relation between human and nature in the practice of batik production in post-based batik industry. The findings of this study will discover an overview of female batik makers' experience and make this experience a learning resources in managing and conserving nature. It also means providing more equitable and equal space and access for women in collaboration with men in management and conservation of nature. Putri Kawung Batik community divides the capacity of each batik maker. Even though most of the members of this community are women, they also involvement in the production process, such as during cleaning unused wax from fabric and coloring process. Thus, men are not excluded from the production process at home, and instead they are equally empowered. Next. Conclusion. The practice of clean batik production in Putri Kawung Batik community still focuses on input and process of using natural color, material selection, and the use of wax materials. This shows that the role of women through community gradually practices clean production, even though it has not yet extended to its output processing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Purwanti. Any question from participants? We have 4 minutes to discuss.
Bu Anis,
Yes.
excuse me, I have one question for Ibu Purwati. Thank you for your presentation. It was such an interesting relationship between how women treat their nature and then through their activities that they're conducted daily. I just wondering how was the practice of this since when women have already practiced this batik production. Is it already clean production since the beginning, or it was such like the historical background of how women practice this batik production in this case, whether they start clean production just a few years back, or it has already started clean production from inherited from their ancestor or before. Thank you, Ibu Purwanti.
Okay, thank you. Clean production is actually back to the heritage batik process that use plants to be coloring materials and use wax, not use synthetic color, not use printing technique, and
So what about the price of the batik, Ibu? Is it more expensive because it's used the natural products, and then I think the prices should be higher, is it, compared to other batik? Okay.
The price is higher, but it's worth for the environment.
Okay, so they have already their consumers, right? The consumers. Okay, thank you, Bu Anis, for the chance.
Yeah, Bu Yurlita. It's an interesting topic about the cleaner production. Yeah? When we talk about cleaner production, is it an integrated environment impact should calculated before we start the production? So I think the question from Ibu Yurlita is very, very, very important to think, because if we use all materials, nature, it's the impact is about the high prices. And it is limited edition. I'm so about that because I have an experience about the batik in Bangkalan, Tanjung Bumi, batik Gentong. All material and all process, there is a very, very consider about the environment. So the price is very high. One piece is about 3, 4, even higher, 5 million. Wow. Just for one piece. So I think it's another problem. Can we do the cleaner production as a, or just follow the market demand? Okay, I think time is enough. We can discuss it about this in the other session maybe, or we can talk privately in WhatsApp. Yeah, I appreciate all of presenters here. 5 presenters has presented the paper. Thank you very much for this very, very fruitful discussion in this afternoon. I apologize in this when I conduct this meeting inconvenience or faults. Once again, sorry and hope we can meet in other meeting. Okay.
Thank you also Bu Dr. Anis Farida for guiding the discussion, fruitful discussion, and also thank you for all participants. See you in another occasion.
Maybe we can take a picture together, Mas Fadil.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, okay. Fadil.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please turn on your camera. Bu Arianti, Bu Orpa Jurmalis, Bu Mutia, Pak Idrus, Bu Emi, Bu Juwita, Bu Nurhayati.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, I will take a picture. The picture in 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mas. Thank you.
Kita nunggu closing ceremony kah? Panitia.
Closing ceremony kita ya. Nanti akan ada lagi.
Ini gimana sekarang? Nanti ada link baru.
Off dulu ya untuk untuk closing ceremony nanti akan kita infokan lagi. Kayaknya di program sudah ada.
Jadi sekarang live ya.
Live dari sini
Oke,
ada
Bu, ya.
join link yang lain. Terima kasih
semua.
semuanya.
Ya, sama-sama.
Terima kasih semua.
Semuanya.
Ya, semuanya panitia semuanya nggak bisa disebut.
Terima kasih. Ya, sama Ibu.